According to the United Nations Population Fund, there are approximately 3.5 million cases of fistula, with more than 100,000 new cases reported annually. Uganda ranks among the top 5 countries with cases of fistula in the sub-Saharan Africa. The Uganda Demographic Health Survey report puts the prevalence of fistula at 4.0% in western Uganda. There have been various interventions in the region to handle the cases. New Vision TV brings you the details.
It is a beehive of activity here at St. Patrick's Theatre, Chisizi Hospital, Rukunjiri District, as surgeons work tirelessly to restore the dignity of women by repairing them. The women are victims of fistula.
This has been a busy week, but for us we are happy because we are giving women a second chance. Fistula repair goes beyond helping the patient. It helps the family and the community. So for us as obstetricians here, we are privileged and very happy to be able to, bring back these people into the community.
Yet to undergo the operation is Pisa Himsiwe, a mother of 3. Her woes with the condition started in 2015 after delivering her 4th child. She remembers that evening when she went into labor like it was yesterday. At about 7 p.m., Ahimsiwe, a resident of Buchinda in Ruchiga district, was rushed to Itojo Hospital in Intungamo district. After prolonged labor, Ahimsiwe was delivered by C-section the following morning. Unfortunately, she did not get the chance to cuddle her bundle of joy. She lost her baby.
So
ebishabika kwata sawe mu mwazi
nazara kanyesa kale mu kashishi
hachikuwazire
naeza kuva amazire kunshemeza nkantara mane kiri wonye kabiri hanyama umwana afira
bakuyamo umwana afira hacecenkari cyo ukakireba ryari
kubayirize bambarira ngo ruhago rwashishika.
Ahimsiwe was discharged 2 weeks later. While she was struggling to come to terms with the loss of her baby, another catastrophe struck. While at her residence at Buchinda, she remembers standing up from a chair and then noticed that her dress was soiled with urine. Not aware of what was happening to her at the time, she rushed to the hospital for an examination. Ahimsiwe had developed a condition termed as vesicovaginal fistula. This has been her way of life for the last 4 years.
Those cases whom we receive. Now I want to explain a little bit what tears mean and what fistulas mean.
Florence Nalubega, a fistula surgeon at Chitovu Hospital, described fistula as a tear that occurs during childbirth between the vagina and the bladder, causing urine to continuously leak.
As they are pushing these babies, sometimes they get damages onto the vaginal canal, and then they end up with tears in that side. So when they get such tears, some of them are repaired and some of them are partially repaired. So when they are partially repaired, you have to know, are these tissues finally well attached to each other? So when you come and examine, some of these mothers come and tell you that I'm passing flatus, I'm passing poo-poo without control. The main cause of fistula in Uganda now is obstructed labor, prolonged labor, taking more than 18 hours in labor. That leads to a fistula cause. That is a leakage of urine or a hole between the bladder and the vaginal canal.
Ahimsiwe is certainly not alone with the condition in Uganda. The rates keep on increasing every year. United Nations Population Fund reports 1,900 new cases of fistula every year in the country. In 2018, United Nations Population Fund supported more than 1,100 fistula repair surgeries, contributing to 1,829 fistula repairs done in Uganda. Globally, the UNFPA reports that there are approximately 3.5 million cases of fistula, with up to 100,000 new cases annually, with majority being in sub-Saharan Africa and Asia. According to the Uganda Demographic and Health Survey 2011 report, fistula prevalence stands at 4.0% in the Western region. A sign of hope for Ahimsiwe to live normally again was during a one-week surgical camp organized by the Ministry of Health in partnership with the United Nations Population Fund in Rukunjiri recently. The camp was in commemoration of the International Day to End Obstetric Fistula under the theme, "Fistula is a human rights violation, end it now." This was her moment. Why the fistula backlog? State Minister for General Duties Saro Pendi, while officiating the day, said Uganda is the third leading country with fistula cases in the whole world. According to Pendi, there are 145,000 registered cases of fistula and 1,900 new cases registered in the country per year. The minister decried the few number of trained doctors working on fistula cases.
I want to thank our partners that have supported us to train these fistula surgeons.
Abapartner betu abatuyambire kwegesa abashaho abakushemeza abakyala.
Because previously we had very few trained surgeons. I think when I joined the ministry, there were less than 5.
But
now we have 25 trained fistula surgeons with support from the US government, UNFPA. Thank you very much for that support. But of course you note that these are still few compared to the backlog that we have in the country. Because we have between 75,000 to 100,000, 140,000 people still living, women still living with fistula in different parts of this country.
The lead fistula surgeon at Chisizi Hospital, Dr. Francis Banya, says majority of the victims they received during the surgical camp had severe rectal, vaginal, perineal tears, resulting into constantly passing feces. Dr. Banya said a perineal tear connects between the birth canal and the anus.
It is surprising, yeah? You see, there are women who are there in the villages and they are living with a tear, a bad perineal tear, like 4th-degree perineal tear, and whereby once they have diarrhea, they cannot control that poop. They can't control it. Some maybe when they're even going for a party, they wear something, like a pamper. Okay, you know when women are giving birth, there's that area between the birth canal and the anus. Now we call that one is the perineum. Okay, so that area can be torn, so that to the extent that there's a communication between the birth canal and the rectum, where poop comes from. So you find the whole thing is become one. Okay, those are the perineal tears. Of course, there are different degrees, which is for us technical people to use. There are different degrees. Some of them go into the rectum, some tear the sphincters, others just only involve the muscle and doesn't go into the rectum. So those are the perineal tears. Those who deliver in the hospital, if you're not careful, some of them can have bad tears. But the advantage of delivering in the hospital is that they are repaired immediately.
How long does it take to repair? We ask. On average, the surgeons say it takes between 30 minutes to 1 hour to operate on a fistula patient. But for complicated cases, the procedure can even last 3 hours.
Fistula surgery, the length really depends on how complicated the surgery is. And on average, it takes about 30 minutes to 1 hour. But if you find a very complicated one, you might go up to 2 to 3 hours. However, fistula treatment does not only involve the time spent for surgery, Okay, we have much more. We put in a patient who will take about 3 months before they are really fully recovered. Yeah.
How much does a fistula repair cost? An operation is not cheap either. It costs between $400 US, which is about 1.4 million Uganda shillings, an amount that an average Ugandan woman cannot afford. How do we prevent fistula? This can be prevented. Nalbega, a surgeon, says women can prevent fistula by attending antenatal care and assuring that they deliver in the hands of skilled health workers. In addition, stopping teenage pregnancies is one way of dealing with fistula. Teenagers are at a risk of fistula because their bodies, especially the pelvis, are not fully developed to handle natural birth.